Hi guys, welcome back to another video, episode 5 in the series of the Stolen Cosworth. And in today's video, we're removing the head, getting the head sent away, and basically still trying to discover what was going on, what was the gentleman that used to own this car up to. And for those of you that are just joining, this car, the owner of the car died quite some time ago, and no one has any history as to why the engine was half ripped, and you know, we don't have any history of anything to do with the car, only that it's been off the road with over 20 years and that the head was loose or potentially off the car, and it was just planked back on for sale, and we're just trying to discover what's going on. So yeah, you have to wait and see how the episode unfolds. Just before we get started, I just want to give a special mention today to today's sponsor of the episode, which is Cannonball Ireland. Cannonball Ireland are running their supercar event, their main event, which is the 15th, 16th and 17th of September. And it's starting in Malahide Castle in Dublin, going across the country up into Ballina, down the west coast of Ireland, Salthill, down into Limerick, back down into Cork, and from Cork then we are heading up and finishing up in Kilkenny. So in the description I will leave the link to the route, and for any of you that would like to come and spectate and see at any of the venues that we're stopping, you'll be blown away with the level of machinery that's there. There's some really cool stuff. I will also leave their social media handles there as well, and I'll be on it myself, and it would be lovely if anybody is watching, if you want to come and say hi. We'll be there, and we're actually driving a really cool car this year in it. We have a limited edition, the Monte Carlo edition, Lancia Delta Integrale. Beautiful car, belongs to a good friend of mine, and that's what I will be bringing on it. And we'll be doing some promotion on there as well for the retro Cannonball, and the Delta will be part of the promotion as well. So we're looking forward to that fantastic event. And again, it's a charity event. It's the Jack and Jill Foundation, and we're raising money for them this year. So absolutely fantastic event. Check out the link in the description and to see more. Okay guys, on with the episode. Right, we're going to take the head off this, and everything is pretty much loose. So if you come in and have a look, you can see the head bolts were out of it anyway. Timing belt was off it. I'm just taking off the injectors. I'm going to pull the fuel rail and take off the airbox and boost hoses and a couple of water hoses and stuff there. The thing is pretty much ready to come off as it is. Now, the easiest way to take a head off a Sierra Cosworth is pull the whole lot in one go with both manifolds on it. I remember watching Wheeler Dealers before, and Ed was doing the head gasket in a two-wheel drive Cosworth there, and he took the manifolds off on the car, which was making hard work for himself. I've always found whenever I've done heads in them is just to pull the whole lot in one go. It's really heavy taking it off, obviously, but it's just so much easier. I mean, everything's loose here. I'll have the head off in 10 minutes. So when we have the head off, we'll be able to have a look and see, and we'll know if the guy previously, was he on the way back with the car and just putting everything back together after doing the head gasket in it, or was he on the way off? There we are. The head is off. Now, it would have been nice to have you watching me take it off, but I just absolutely tore into it. I was on my own, so I just got it off. Came off really easy, to be honest. The inlet manifold was actually loose. There was no bolts on it, so got that off, and then just took off the exhaust manifold once I had it off on the ground. So here we are with the bare head, and the news is good all around, really. The head is in great condition, I feel, for its age. It definitely lines up with what we think about the mileage. Very important little gallery there, and from what I remember years ago of Cosworth heads, if you can't skim below that, and there's loads of meat on there, so I would say this head could even have never been touched before, potentially, or if it has, maybe it's just had one head gasket, maybe, I'm not sure. But we now know that the guy that was ripping it was actually taking it off and doing the head gasket on it, or maybe doing the valve guides, who knows, because the guides here, you see that valve is half open, that's rocking from side to side. Feel a small bit of play in it there, so that means it's wearing that guide, and there's a bit of wear in that one as well. And I've checked them all individually, and worn valve guides gives smoke on the overrun. So when you take your foot off the accelerator and you go back on, there's a puff of blue smoke out the exhaust, that it's because of, some people think it's valve stem oil seals, which it can also be that, but it's more than likely the valve guides that have failed. So we get those replaced with new ones, and get a bit of work done to the head, get it all cleaned up. So let's flip it over and have a look at the other side. And there we have it. Pretty decent. All the lobes and the cams are in good order. So we're actually, the head is going off to an engine shop tomorrow to get checked. So I've stripped it, but I'm leaving the camshafts and the caps in place, because the guy that's going to do it will obviously retorque it. I checked the lifters as well while he's at it, and if they need replacing, the hydraulic lifters will get those replaced as well. But we're going to leave these in place just because he's going to, when he's going at it, it's pointless it coming back and me tightening it here, and torque settings being different or whatever. So I'd rather send it off like this. I've everything else taken off it, but we'll leave the cams in it, and when it comes back, then it's just a case of get the manifolds on it, put in a couple of sensors and bits and pieces like that, and get our gasket set and put it back together. So very happy with that. That is one, what I would call, very, very decent head of a Sierra Cosworth. The turbo, T3, standard two-wheel drive Cosworth turbo, and we're going to be looking at this now, and we're going to be assessing to see what's the story. Are we going to be able to use this? Any signs of anything untoward with it? You can see the wastegate there in the back, and all looks pretty standard to me. The actuator on this one, I'll turn it over in a second, you can have a look, is wound up to the last, so the guy was definitely trying to extract as much boost out of it as possible, but I would imagine that the spring is probably too weak in it, and that's why it was turned up so high. He was trying to get more boost and just winding the actuator in instead of getting an actuator with a heavier spring potentially. Who knows? We don't know. But let's have a look at for play on the shaft. Now, a little bit of side to side is normal. That's fine. But it's play in and out is what you're looking for. And there's absolutely zero play in and out on this one. So we have, fortunately, a good Garrett T3 turbo, so that is great news. Now I just want to show you this actuator. There's literally no thread left, so this guy was wound into the last looking for maximum boost, but what was probably happening was the spring was tired in the actuator and he was trying to get as much boost as he could out of it, but it was probably peaking and dropping off because the actuator just probably wasn't strong enough, I would imagine. And that is okay, because we're gonna change that anyway and put a nice new one on there. The plenum and the intake manifold, throttle body, idle speed control valve, all of that jazz. Grubby, filthy, but no problem. All is well here, no problems to report. Yeah, you can see the O-rings of the injectors are just, a couple of them are just stuck in the manifold there. That's fine, we'll get them off. We'll be running standard injectors on this anyway. We're not going to be going for any kind of higher power or anything like that. We'll be replacing all these hoses. We get the idle speed control valve, we'll get that off and give that a good clean out as well, and get this manifold all spruced up and clean before it goes back onto the car. Now, what's going on under here? Are we okay? Are we in trouble? Do we need to worry about the bottom end? And the answer to that question is no, we're actually very, very, very lucky. Now what I've done is I've just put a bit of solution on here, because with the head being loose, there's a small bit of light corrosion which will clean up no problem. What I'm doing there is I'm just, you know, putting that fluid on there just to soften everything up and just give it a couple of turns and let it set overnight, and also see does any of it disappear as well. But you know, it's just mainly to clean it up. What we're looking for here now, we need a micrometer, and we're going to check around here for any ovality and just see and make sure that we have equal measurements side to side, and you know, lengthways as well. And but just by even touching with your hand and feeling for a lip at the top of the bore here, there's 0, which is, you know, pretty impressive. For any of you guys will know that these early 2-wheel drive engines, the gudgeon pin on the 4-wheel drive ones was offset, and the earlier 2-wheel drives had piston slap. When they were cold in the mornings, they were giving a knock, and it caused wear, obviously, with inside the bores. And on the higher mileage ones, you'd feel that, and you'd feel that, you know, definitely on the block there. So no wear there, and that's perfect. So we're looking good, and we're definitely, we're definitely looking good on that. So really happy with that so far. Okay, so cracking on with jobs now while the head is away. The head is away getting its work done to it, and we've got a small bit of time this afternoon, so I'm just going to have a quick run over the brakes and stuff in the Sierra, just to have a look and see what we're dealing with. And ultimately we're trying to uncover the story of what, you know, what this guy had done to the car and what was going on. So if you come over this side, we've got this side ripped already, and a bit of an alarming kind of tale here, really. The brake discs, and this is what caused us to take the wheel off. The brake discs, albeit brand new because there's no lip on them, and I would say they've got very little road done, look very small. So they're actually 260mm, and a Sierra Cosworth should have 283. But the brake pads that are in it would suggest that they were Sierra Cosworth brake pads, because if you look, you can see where the top piece of the pad here wasn't on the disc at all. So the disc was too small, the pad was too deep. The pad is for the bigger disc, and now they're Ferodo racing brake pads. Actually very good brake pad, and very good make brake pad. And I would say, you know, they definitely weren't cheap anyway. No make on the disc or anything like that, but the disc is pretty good. So these discs, with them being 260mm, would be 2-litre twin cam, that kind of thing, you know, but not 283 like the Cosworth ones are. So they're coming off. We're ordering new 283mm brake discs drilled. We're going to get drilled ones, and luckily the calipers were, you know, free, completely free. No, they weren't stuck at all. They pushed back lovely. So very happy with that. So those brake discs, those 260s, they're now coming off. So if anyone's watching this and you have a 2-litre twin cam Sierra, and or your brake discs in your Sierra are 260mm, those brake discs are there. Drop me a comment, and we can get in touch if you would like them. So super. Just having a look here, I just, for those of you that aren't familiar with a 4-pot caliper in the Sierra Cosworth, how they work is they have 2 pistons here, and they have 2 pistons on the inside, and the caliper then can be split here and split here, and the brake pads literally just slide in, very handy. Just slide in, and pins go across them then, and an anti-rattle clip goes in the middle. So super job. You're going to clean these up anyway, but I mean they're excellent, and all the rubbers are in excellent condition. And we've been examining under the arch and underneath the car, even the jacking points, and it's really amazing how fresh this car is for something that's 35 years old. It really does look like a time warp, you know. So that's the story on this side. We're going to put the car back together now and go back to the back and just have a look and see what's going on there as well. One of the things that alarmed me when the car landed was I was looking at the back of it going, there's something wrong with those back lights, you know. And I was saying, no, they're definitely right, but why is it tucked in so much? And I was like, oh, don't tell me it's after getting a puck in the back or something like that. And I looked across and I was looking and I was there, that light is really in too far. So I want you to have a look here. So the flush line here, the back lamp should come out and be dead flush with that. But this is all perfect here. And the panel's never been touched. And we looked at the seam welds inside and all of that. And it turns out that the lamps that are on the car, this car would have come with orange indicators and it would have had orange backlights. And the indicators in the front were changed to clear. Side repeaters were actually left amber. And the smoked rear lamps were put in the back. But the smoked rear lamps, and the reason why they're too far in is they're actually hatchback backlights. So once we figured that out, we were pretty happy because I was there, oh, don't tell me this thing's after getting a smack. But anyway, so if you come to the other side now, I'll show you, because we managed to locate a pair of correct Sierra Sapphire ones. So if you come to this side, you'll see what it should look like. And it's nice and flush with the boot door, nice and straight down, and all looks normal and the way it should be. So that's fantastic. Really happy with that result. So from here, and if you look directly back to the other one now, you'll see the massive gap that's there. And as you can imagine, you know, that was alarming when we saw it first. But anyway, good. Okay. As you can see, the sunroof is open here and it's not very sunny, but I wanted to show you what it was like. So from painting modern classics and stuff, definitely over the last 2 years, I've had my fair share of misery with sunroofs and them being rotten and not working and so on. So when this came, and obviously, thankfully, it's a fully manual roof, which is a lot better than electric in my opinion. I was there going, oh, I wonder if the roof works. And first go, it worked. And as you can see, it's absolutely spotless in around the sunroof. It's just even the channels, everything is absolutely perfect. And you can even see just on its original sealer going along, there's the little cracks that have come over the years, over the last 35 years, and age appropriate, and just adding that originality to the car, and knowing that, you know, no one's ever had to fix it for leaks or anything like that. As you're here, actually what we'll do is that you can see the hole here, that's your drain. So that's one of the drains, another one the other corner, and there's probably ones at the back as well. So while we have the chance as well, and while we think of it, I'll actually blow those drains out with an airline and a tube, and just make sure they're free of any dirt. I don't think there's anything, because this car was dry stored, but for argument's sake, if you guys with your cars or whatever, it would always be well worthwhile just getting good pressure from the compressor. And blowing through these, because if they block up, it can cause the car to get, you know, wet inside and all of the rest of it. So that's a major thing, and then in turn then seize up your sunroof mechanism as well. So we'll be putting on probably silicone spray, cleaning all this up and putting silicone spray on the runners and stuff here. I don't want to put grease or anything like that, but I do want to put some sort of lubricant on there that isn't going to be tacky and dust sticking to it and all that rubbish. But a bit of silicone spray, and make sure that it gets used. You know, that's the biggest problem with sunroofs. People don't use them, and that's why they seize up. So again, another good find with this car that just keeps uncovering nice surprises for a change. There we go, guys, another episode down, and as you can see, a good bit of uncovering, and, you know, just I guess a story unfolding. And I can't wait to bring you next week's video already. And in next week's video, I'm going to be able to show you all the parts that we've collected so far, and you know, we've got quite a few. Okay, so if you liked the video and you would like to see more, please could you hit the like button and drop us a comment, And if you would like to see more, hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell as well. And every Monday going forward, we will be hoping to bring you the latest installment of the stolen Sierra Cosworth story that will continue on for however long until this car is finished, and even beyond, I would say, at this point. So that's it. So until next week, guys, like I said at the start of the video, check out the link in the description below for all things associated. Big thank you again to Cannonball Ireland for getting involved in this one, and see you all next week.